Welcome to Yarok, the Desecrated. As far as our opening hand goes, we do have Mana Drain and Rex Sage, which definitely be good, but we don't have a green source. So yeah, let's go and mulligan. I'm not super wild about waiting on a green source. And yes, we'll keep all this, and we still have Reclamation Sage. No, our opponent's going to be at least playing a few artifacts over there if they're playing an artifact graveyard style deck. So Reclamation Sage hopefully should come into hand for us. And what do we want to put? We're going to keep on this one. What are we going to put on the bottom? I kind of like Worldly Tutor. And I guess we just put Ponder down. Yeah, I think that's fine. So I like having 4 lands. That way we can make sure we can go for your rock and try to set up a really nice double Rex Sage. Yeah, so let's go and put Ponder on the bottom. And their opponent's on the play, so we're going to let them get this game started. But yes, welcome to Yarok the Desecrated. Hope you're ready for some Soul Tie, Enter the Battlefield effects. It's going to be some really nice stuff. We're playing Yarok the Desecrated, Death Touch and Lifelink. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional Life from the Loam. This game just got a lot better. All right, so let's go for Polluted Delta. And then, yeah, let's just go and crack Polluted Delta. That way I can deliver some commentary. So let's go Polluted Delta, and we're going to grab ourselves a Breeding Pool. And once we get this popped out, there we go. Breeding Pool into the battlefield tap, not going to pay 2. And we'll go and pass turn. But yes, we're playing Yarok the Desecrated. Causes a double trigger whenever a permanent enters the battlefield. So pretty fun effect. Playing against Feldon of the Third Path. For a 3-mana activation, create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So if you want to have a really fun Feldon interaction, let's put Wormcoil Engine in your deck, create a token that's a copy of it, and then it dies. I mean, and that's just, that is some value, because Feldon doesn't exile out of the graveyard, so it's some pretty good magic right there. Let's go Woodland Cemetery. And yeah, let's just go and go for that. I think at this point, we just want to keep making our land drops, so we might even just keep dredging for next turn. Because we're looking at Rex Sage on Illusioner's Bracers, but really want to try to catch some sort of mana rock. If we can keep our opponent down on mana, hopefully that should allow us to kind of get in a spot to where we can get the shout out to Nesh, get the value train going with your rock a little bit quicker than they can, and probably going to end up going for Swiftfoot Boots next turn. Because we do have a lot of ways that we can target creatures in this deck, especially spot removal. So it's going to dredge Life from the Loam. That's going to be Bayou, Homeward Path. Oh, that is a beautiful dredge. It's 3 lands right there. And since we are going to go Rex Sage, well, that puts them on going for Feldon and going for it next turn, and they definitely don't have the mana. Yeah, let's do this. So we're going to go for Polluted Delta. Let's go ahead and crack Polluted Delta. We're going to grab another dual source out of our library. I was thinking we had to go for Swiftfoot Boots right now, but we can actually just wait. So let's have Watery Grave enter the battlefield. Not going to pay 2 life. Let's go Life from the Loam on Polluted Delta, Homeward Path, and Bayou. One of the cool things about Homeward Path, I was thinking that was I was thinking that was the one that can put your commander out of the command zone, like with Muldrotha, which is just a lovely interaction. So at this point, we do have to discard down the hand size. We have to get rid of 1 card. I guess at this point, we'll just get rid of we'll just get rid of Homeward Path. That's fine. We can always dredge it up next turn. And then pass over our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to build your very own Yarok deck that you can hug somebody with Yarok's very creepy looking arms, hey, head on over to MTGOTraders. We've got all the cards that you may need for Yarok. And we'll cover the rest of the sponsors here in a second. Do we want to dredge Life from the Loam? We've got a lot of lands. Let's see what we can rip into. All right, so we run into another swamp. So we'll go for, I think Thrain Dynamo sounds like a pretty good option. So we're going to have Bayou enter the battlefield. Let's go Thrain Dynamo. At this point, we just need to get some sort of card advantage. We do have Pull from Tomorrow in here, so if we can find ourselves a way to find Pull from Tomorrow, that'll really allow us to kind of refuel our hand and end up going for your rock. Our opponent's really not off to that crazy of a start. We do have to watch out for Illusioner's Bracers and Swiftfoot Boots. But at this point right now, with us being able to at least have an answer for Swiftfoot Boots and Worldly Tutor for another answer, I feel pretty good. Because what we want to try to do is, even if our opponent's trying to build up their board state, once we get down your rock and end up going for these double enter the battlefield effects, that'll really allow us to kind of go for that. And especially if we can just stop any sort of interaction with them exiling stuff out of the graveyard. Okay, so our opponent does end up getting Swiftfoot Boots onto Feldon. They're going to be swinging across for a 2-3. So what we can do is we can end up going for Shriek Maw to get, yeah, I think I kind of like that now that I think about it. We could try to get down Yarok to Desecrated, but we can actually just go Rex Sage with a Shriek Maw. What, excuse, yeah, no, with Worldly Tutor, just a creature card. Okay, I always get worried with Worldly Tutor that it has to be a green source. For some reason, I get it stuck Green Sun Zenith in my head. So we're gonna go Worldly Tutor. We're gonna grab an Evoke Source, get this popped out. Let's go for Shriek Maw. It's just simply going to be 2 mana. Yep, there we go. Shriek Maw is going to go on top. Not going to dredge Life from the Loam. Not going to fall for that one, buddy. And let's have Swamp enter the battlefield. We're going to go for Reclamation Sage first. It's going to be green. And then 2 off of Thran Dynamo. That way we can go for Swiftfoot Boots. Get rid of Swiftfoot Boots. We'll go, yes, definitely want to use that ability. We're going to have Shriek Maw enter the battlefield with Evoke. We're going to destroy Feldon. Sorry, Feldon. Get Feldon out of here. And then anything else for 2? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So there we go. Now with Feldon, Feldon has some really sad flavor text. She will come back to me, and I'm pretty sure that's his wife. And so, I don't know. It just kind of makes me sad that Feldon's sad. It's the same way when I see Grun. I'm like, hey, Grun, dude, you don't have to be the lonely king. There's a lot of people out there. So anyway, Feldon's a little sad guy. I think that was his wife that unfortunately had passed away, and she will come back. So hopefully, I don't know the lore. I don't know the official story. I do know that it's his wife that he's talking about. So hopefully he finds some happiness, because it's not good to be sad. It's not fun to be sad, and so yeah, just make sure you're taking care of yourself out there. It's always good to do a little bit of a mental health check, so it's always good. All right, posting to go for Duretti. So now we need to get some. I don't think we want to dredge. Croson Grip. Okay, so we got Croson Grip on Thought Vessel. That'll really slow them down on mana, which I think I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and push in with Reclamation Sage on Duretti. That way we can get Duretti kind of get it ticked down just a little bit. And have Rex Sage just start swinging that big old green staff over there at Duretti's movement vehicle. So we're going to go and swing in for 2-1. Swinging at Duretti, that's going to knock Duretti down to a 3 loyalty. And I think we still end up going for Croson Grip. Yeah, I kind of like that. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, Croson Grip on Thought Vessel. Because simply at this point, we just want to stop that extra ramp. So let's go for Yarok the Desecrated. That's going to be 1 colorless. We'll tap down for Soul-Tie colors. There we go. Have Yarok enter the battlefield. We'll have Waterlogged Grove enter. And then we might end up going for Life from the Loam next turn, because what I kind of like doing is I kind of like going for the Waterlogged Grove line of play, where we're just going to be drawing some cards. That's going to be a really efficient way for us to kind of hopefully filter into some really good stuff. So opponent's sitting at 2 cards in the hand. They do have, Beetleback Chief. They've got Duplicate in the graveyard, but the bottleneck at this point right now is getting down Feldon and making sure that Feldon survives into the next turn. So I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Both of us, we've kind of we've maximized our hands, so we've only got 2 cards left. So hopefully it's whoever can start to generate enough value as quickly as possible will be able to take this one. But yeah, as far as the Yarok deck, I think it's been a while since I recorded the Yarok, but as far as I ended up kind of changing the deck a little bit. When I initially built Yarok, I had like 30 something creatures in the deck, and it was just really, really top heavy. It's kind of like if you keep going fast and oh, there we go. All right, so Duplicate's going to enter the battlefield. It's going to exile Yarok, but we got a lot of mana, so that is kind of the least of our worries. So we'll probably still end up going Life from the Loam next turn, and we'll see if we can't find a way to deal with that Duplicate. We need to get an exile effect, so something like Hostage Taker would certainly help us out. So, but yeah, so I ended up changing it. We had a, like I mentioned, it's very top heavy. If you get going fast enough, and then it just spills over, and you just don't do good. So what I ended up doing is just kind of just tightening down a little bit, just making sure that the end of the battlefield effects just work really well with Yarok. And that's something like to where we have Deep Forest Hermit, we have Hulk in here, we have Sire of Stagnation. You just want to make sure that whatever we're trying to do is a very strong effect once they're both on the battlefield. Now we can dredge Life from the Loam to make sure we get that Waterlogged Grove back. Or do we want to see what we rip into for the turn? Because either way, let's just go and go for Life from the Loam. That's going to allow us to kind of refuel for the turn. So we're going to have Polluted Delta. fact, yeah, let's just go for Yarok again. So we're gonna have Yarok enter the battlefield. We're gonna go for Forest. And then I think next turn we'll end up going for Waterlogged Grove next turn. Because that'll be a card draw. And that would force them to have to sacrifice Duplicate to go for Yarok again. So yeah, then we can start to go for the Waterlogged Grove. So at least just kind of represent some sort of counter magic to our opponent. It's going to be double blue and green, so at least kind of keep them on for a 2-mana counterspell or a 3-mana counterspell. And then we're just going to go and pass the turn. Yeah, we don't really want to swing Rex Sage into Sad Robot. That's going to give him a card draw. And then just give him a beautiful target with Feldon. So, but yeah, as far as the deck goes, just kind of tighten it down a little bit. Tried to make it a little bit more of a Sultai control deck. And so to where, you know, we're just making sure that if we have an enter the battlefield effect, it's going to be high impact. So that's kind of what we're going for. That was the downside to, you know, sometimes when you build some of these new decks, like with Yarok, you know, it's got to the point to where, like, we had so many creatures in here. I was like, well, if you have your rock on the battlefield, and then we have Riverwise Augur come down and all this stuff. And just what ended up happening is, you know, your rock's one of those commanders that you need to have on the battlefield in order to really take advantage of double Panharmonicon effects. And if all of your card advantage sources are stuff like Riverwise Augur or just some sort of creature that enters the battlefield, you're kind of in a weird spot. And so, thankfully, I kind of tightened it down a little bit. I feel a little bit better about this build. It's not so clunky. So, Sad Robot swinging across for 2. We're going to let that come across. We're not going to crack the Sad Robot seal for a card draw and lands. That is not what we want to do. Let's go and sacrifice Waterlogged Grove. We're going to cash in a card draw. And we'll see. Preordain. Okay, that's not too bad. We get things shaked up a little bit. We do have Toxic Deluge, we do have Damnation, and we do have Hero's Downfall. So those kind of some options that we are looking for. Let's go for Preordain. It's going to be 1 blue source. Ooh, then Hostage Taker, which I think we do have enough mana to go for Duplicate. Yeah, so let's put Path of Discovery on the bottom. We'll put Hostage Taker on top. So we draw into that. So I think at this point, we just need to... So we can Hostage Taker to get rid of one of these creatures. And they swing across, it's going to have Death Touch. That's going to give... Yeah, so let's sequence it like this. So we go for Hostage Taker. So we're going to have Hostage Taker enter the battlefield. I'm trying to figure out if we want to exile Duplicate or if we actually want to exile Feldon. Because if we exile Feldon, we're not going to be able to cast it. So yeah, I think at this point we just exile... But then again, yeah, let's do it like this. So we exile Feldon. That makes it to where we can swing in with the Yarok at Ready to hopefully get rid of Ready. So let's do that. So we're going to target Feldon. Unfortunately, that's going to... Oh, and actually, excuse me, we've got Panharmonicon. We can go for double triggers. What am I thinking? All right, so we're going to go for the double host. That makes this play a lot easier. Sorry about that. Sometimes when you're giving commentary, but you just get so wrapped up in something like that that you just kind of forget, oh yeah, I've got this sequenced up. So there we go. So we've got a Duplicate exiled with Hostage Taker. That's going to be land drop for the turn. That's going to be 1 mana away, so we actually can't do that. Let's go Life from the Loam. We're going to tap down 1 more green swords, bring those back. Let's go for Temple of Malady. Get the Scry going, the Scurry, the Fever, the Insanity. Ooh, Ravenous Chupacabra. Yeah, we're going to leave that on top for sure. And that's one of the other good things, is just simply hitting a Scry land. It's a really nice effect. So let's go and push in your rock at Ready. And just in case our opponent's got some spot removal, I don't know what they might have. We're going to swing in double at Ready. That way we're going to make sure that they can't reanimate next turn. So we've got double crew swinging across. That's going to make sure that Ready's double dead. And yeah, we could have swung in and up top, but like I said, if they've got some sort of random removal spell, then so be it. So, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. So thankfully, we've gotten to the point now to where we can really kind of start to outvalue our opponent, especially with your rock sticking around on the battlefield. We have double Hostage Taker. We have Duplicate that we can go for with Sad Robot. We've got Ravenous Chupacabra that we can leave off to the back. We've got Waterlogged Grove in a position now to where we can start cashing in that card draw turn after turn. But yeah, this is pretty much what you want to do with your rock. And we don't really have that crazy of a board state. We don't have a ton of card draw or anything like that. And so just simply getting lucky with the 2-for-1 entering the battlefield is a very nice effect. So we got Proforos coming down. And that is... Yeah, so we're going to have to watch out for Proforos, because that'll be some damage. But we're sitting at 27, so we've got a little bit of a healthy life total. So we got Ravenous Chupacabra, and I think we just go Duplicate. Yeah, let's just straight up just cast Duplicate. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. We're going to have Duplicate enter the battlefield. That way we just don't have to worry about any sort of shenanigans with that. It's going to make Duplicate a 2/2. There's no more creature for us to target. And then we do have Waterlogged Grove. So I think at this point, we're just going to start trying to cash in card draw. So let's go and swing in for 5. That's going to put them down to 22. Excuse me, Hostage Taker is going to get in the mix too. So it's going to put them down to 20. We'll go for Waterlogged Grove. Go for a card draw. Not going to dredge Life on the Loam on this one. All right, so Night's Whisper. Okay, that was a good one. We're going to go for Night's Whisper, draw 2 more cards, hold off on Life on the Loam, hit a Ponder. Oh, look at that value from Waterlogged Grove. I love it. And, oh, that is probably the best thing that you could ask for in the top 3 cards of your library. I think we'll still, since we've got Demonic Tutor, we'll put Toxic Deluge on top. We'll put Impulse on top, and we'll put Demonic Tutor on top. So not going to shuffle our library, and not going to dredge Life on the Loam, because we actually won all 3, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we have officially outpaced our opponent. Opponent's got 0 cards in the hand. They're going to have their card draw for the turn, but we've gotten to the point now to where we've got this value on lockdown pretty tight. We do have Demonic Tutor, which I think if we're going to go Demonic Tutor, we've actually end up going Gear Hulk. Because we're looking at, we don't have Crater Hoof in here. So if we end up grabbing Gear Hulk with a Demonic Tutor, that's going to be double counters that we can get on our creatures. So that's going to be 4 counters entering the battlefield. That's going to be 8. I think that might be enough, because it's going to be 4, 12. It's going to be 15. And it's going to be like 17. Actually, yeah, if their opponent being at 17 with that Mana Crypt trigger, thank you very much, Mana Crypt trigger. I think that should close it out, so we'll see. But it does complicate it if they do end up getting an extra body on the battlefield. So there stands a Lonely Goblin Welder, and we've got double Ravenous Chupacabra, which we can take care of that. So let's see what they decide. They could go for Helm of the Host if they wanted to equip that. Does it give it haste? And it does gain haste, so they're going to get some copies of Goblin Welder. Choose target artifact that player controls. So they can sacrifice Mana Crypt to bring back Combustible Gear Hulk, I think. Yeah, let's see what they. This is interesting. Let's see what they end up going for. If it is Gear Hulk, we'll probably end up going for like the card advantage side, to where we're gonna let them. We'll take some damage. I think we can risk that line of play, but let's see what they end up doing. Oh, excuse me. They're gonna go for Larry David's Disc. So that'll basically kind of put us in a spot to where we're pretty much know what we're going to go for. We're going to go for Demonic Tutor on some sort of way to kind of deal with the Larry David's Disc. So that'll be a good thing for us. So let's see what we draw into for the turn. Don't need to dredge Life on Loam. We have a ton of lanes in our hand. Excuse me, we know what's on top. Impulse and Toxic Deluge. So, and at this point, we don't really need Toxic Deluge. So let's go Demonic Tutor. Yeah, because we need to deal with that Larry David's Disc. I hate that we're going to be blasting our opponent, keeping them down, but this is what Yarok needs to do. This is what we need to happen. So, and I think we'll still just go and grab we can grab Teemer's Sabertooth, actually, now that I think about it, because we can bounce back Rex Sage. But if we're trying to close the game out in one hit, yeah, let's just go and grab Manglehorn. That's going to be a good option for us. So let's go Manglehorn, enter the battlefield, destroy target artifact. That's going to allow us to blast Larry David's Disc and Helm of the Host. That's going to get rid of that option. And yeah, we've gotten into the clunky part of the game. Sorry about that to our opponent. If our opponent's a friend of the channel, hey, I do apologize. There's just sometimes where Manglehorn gets a little rowdy sometimes. We're going to blast Larry David's Disc, get rid of them. We'll have that enter the battlefield. I think we just go Ravenous Chupacabra, and that's going to clear the way for us to get rid of both of these Goblin Welders. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty good effect. And that still leaves up Impulse that we can go for. So let's go Goblin Welder, the Hungry Chupacabra. Let's go and swing in with the entire crew. And yeah, opponent said good game, I guess. Yeah, sorry, but sometimes when you're playing an artifact deck and you're playing a enter the battlefield deck with your rock or something like this, is kind of you get to the point where you just got a pretty firm lock on the board state. So our opponent did put up a very good fight. That's a lot of time. Ooh, look at that top deck. that was our hour of devastation. That was a very timely hour of devastation. Okay, so we've got to rebuild. Wasn't expect. Oh, pull from tomorrow. That is a wonderful way for us to rebuild. That we can cash in a ton of card draw and go for that. So we're not going to dredge life from the loam. An Assassin's Trophy. So at this point, I think what we do is we just go Swamp, and then we go for Pull from Tomorrow, and that's going to set up for a very, very nice turn. So that was a good top deck from our opponent. That's what makes Magic fun sometimes. And so we're going to go for Pull from Tomorrow. That way we don't have to discard down the hand size, and we can get maximum mana for next turn. So, but Nicol Bolas popping out on the top of the Feldon deck says no. No, opponent, you have a little bit more time to live in this game. So let's go for Pull from Tomorrow. We're just going to just cash it. And this is what makes Pull from Tomorrow so good. You should definitely be running in any blue base stack. Just having an X tap out spell is such a good effect because this is just really going to allow us just to really reset the board. So at this point, we're just looking for some creatures, which we don't really... Sorry, Stagnation, okay. And at this point, we've got a ton of land, so we don't have to really worry about any sort of dredge option. Let's get rid of Pluto Delta. That'll be good. And then anything else? No, I'll kick it back over to our turn. So, not going to dredge life from them. See what we draw into for the turn. Bramble Sovereign. Okay, so this game is going to be key with having your rock on the battlefield again. So we're going to have your rock enter the battlefield. That's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to have your rock enter, and I think at this point we're going to try to set up for next turn for like Bramble Sovereign or something like that. Yeah, so let's have Void into the battlefield. That's going to be double Scry. Because we really, we've just got Sire of Stagnation in our hand, which is really not that good. So Brainstorm. Yeah, I think at this point we just want to dig for a creature. Dive down. We don't have any sword. Actually, yeah, we'll keep that on top. Because if our opponent draws into spot removal, we can actually end up going Supreme Will. I mean, we can counter the spell, but if they have mana to pay for it, we can at least Supreme Will, grab Dive Down, and protect our creature. So we did make the land drop for the turn, and then we're going to go and pass the turn over there. So unfortunately, off of that Pull from Tomorrow, we didn't really run into a lot of creatures. Bramble Sovereign does help us really get some really nice value going. So let's discard down to hand size. Okay, and then we pass it back over there. So we got a really heavy removal hand. We've got Assassin's Trophy, Go for the Throat, Hero's Downfall. So we've got a pretty good option to deal with whatever our opponent gets down on the battlefield. And once we end up going for Bramble Sovereign, that'll allow us to get some good amplifying effects. Let's say that we have Bramble Sovereign in the battlefield, we can pay that 2 mana to make double copies of Sire of Stagnation. And that's going to be some really good... we just start exiling top card of their library. So that forces them to have some sort of answer for Sire. Then the fact that Sire is a 5/7, that is, pretty sizable effect, especially if your opponent's sitting over there at 8. And whatever they get down, we've got Go for the Throat, Hero's Downfall. So even if we can't get Sire of Stagnation line of play going, we've still got the option just to basically close it out in 3 turns. So let's see what they end up top decking for their turn. Opponent did say LOL, so hopefully that's not what they top deck into. Hopefully that's what they're talking about with the Hour of Devastation. So they're going to go for Gamble. All right, I think we let this go through. Yeah. All right, so this is the... I love this. This is where magic is magic. We'll see what they gambled, because if they have something good in the hand, then it goes in the graveyard. We know exactly what they gambled for. So let's let this go through, and then just love a... one card in the hand gamble. That's just some good magic right there. Okay, so our opponent ends up going... I don't know if they targeted Blasphemous Act or what they targeted, but let's see what they ended up grabbing off of that, because they ended up discarding Mindclaw Shaman. Enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand, you cast a target instant or sorcery. So I think on this one, we just straight up just go Supreme Will. Counter target spell, yeah, because we don't want to let them have Supreme Will. So that was either way, if that's what they drew into or that's what they hit. So Supreme Will is going to get rid of that. That's going to allow us to kind of stop that, and we can set up for a really nice Sire of Stagnation for next turn. So let's kick it back over to our side, and we'll see what we draw into for the turn. Draw into Dive Down. Oh yeah, that's on top of our library. Duh. So if we're going to set it up, we go for Bramble Sovereign first. It's going to be 1, 2... And then we have Sire of Stagnation enter the battlefield. And then we can still pay double green on one of these. Yeah, that'll be good. So not going to be able to pay for that. Let's have Homeowner Path enter the battlefield. And then anything... Yeah, we actually could have set that up just a little bit differently, but to pay for that extra one. But I like leaving up dive down. So let's go and push in with Yarok. That's going to be a 3/5. Push them down to 5. And then whenever a land enters the battlefield under the control, that exiles top 2 cards, and we get to draw 2 cards. So we're looking at 4 card draw at this point, which is a very strong effect. And we still have dive down 2 to protect Yarok, which should be, we'll see what they end up top decking. If they don't hit another Hour of Devastation, this should be good. We did see them discard Blasphemous Act, which they actually could cast Blasphemous Act at this point. Oh, look at that. Look at this value. And that's the other cool thing about Bramble Sovereign, is that that's just like, you get double effects like this, which is just really, really nice. There we go. Just drawing it a double card draw, like just drawing 8 cards off of a land drop. Oh, that's pretty good. So good game to our opponent. We're not going to, they've got 0 cards in hand, so we're just going to go and play this one out really quick. We'll go and swing across. Not going to dredge life from the loam. Let's go and swing across with, we'll get just double sires swinging down. That's kind of cool. You normally don't get double sires, so we'll just swing in with double sires and kick it back over to our opponent. So there we go. Good game to our opponent. You know, that's one of the things where, you know, like I mentioned earlier, you know, with Pull from Tomorrow, this is one of the best ways to reset in a game. If something happens to a board wipe, just being able to generate a ton of card draw very quickly is going to really help you kind of outpace your opponent. And that's definitely what allowed us to win this game, was simply just getting Pulled from Tomorrow. It did help that we had double enter the battlefield with Yarok, but you can see where this just allowed us to getting some 2-for-1s for simply just getting down a Manglehorn or Reclamation Sage. Really kind of helped set the tone, and we didn't really have any of that crazy of a board state. You know, we didn't have Team or Sabertooth bouncing stuff back. It was kind of a very low-powered start to the game, and then it really transitioned late game with Sire of Stagnation. So that's exactly where we kind of want this game to go, to where we're getting some really nice card draw from Sire of Stagnation. Maybe get a couple different copies of these, get Bramble Sovereign, to where we have all the mana, we have Yarok down, and then we just kind of take over the game. So good game to our opponent. Highly enjoyed it. They did put up a fight, but thankfully we were able to kind of stop Feldon and his reanimating strategy. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.